Hi, I'm back. So, this past week, we decided we were going to do a castle tour. As you guys know, I think I told you that in the last vlog. So, let's jump right in. There's so many pictures, so I have to make this part fast. So, last week, during the week, we did a bunch of work. I packed a bag just in case, you never know. We saw Jepson, that was exciting. We got pizza, all the fun stuff. Then, Friday, we wake up. Robert goes to get the rental car. We pack it full of stuff. We have like a rough plan. Well, I have a plan, obviously. A rough plan for the weekend. And so we start off and we go over to Dunkeld, Robert's music playing place. And we do this really cool hike. And we're walking all along the river, and we see this super old tree. It's like 400 years old or something. It's the Burnham Wood from Macbeth. So, out. Darn spot. I digress. So, we go on this walk, and then we come back and we eat steak ale pie and sticky toffee pudding. So good. I ate two. Literally. Robert and I split one, and then I was still hungry, and it tasted so good that I ate another one. So delicious. And we were going to camp, but then I decided I didn't want to sleep on the floor, so we bought a hotel room at the hotel we ate dinner at, and it was 2 twin beds, but that's fine. It's better than the floor. But the steak ale pie was so good. And we also went out to Ewan's house. I don't know his last name, but he makes banjos, and Robert is looking at getting a banjo made here in Scotland. How cool. So I got to hear all about the different color opportunities and strings and metals and woods and stains. But he was really sweet, and his wife was adorable. And they're older, and they're so sweet. So I sat outside while he was in the office, like the shed out back, the banjo making shed, playing music and picking out parts. I sat with his wife, Irene, I think was her name. Thick Scottish accent. But she was adorable. And so we had a full-blown conversation about the virus and family, and her granddaughter called, and that conversation was hilarious. And it was very fun. It reminded me a lot of when I call and tell like my mom or Lainey things. It's a lot of, oh wow, wait, don't tell me that. Oh wow, oh don't tell me that either. It was really funny. So then we went back to Dunkeld, ate the pie, whatever. Woke up the next morning at the crack of dawn. We had to leave at like 7:45 because we had tickets to Urquhart Castle, which is right below Inverness. So we drove like 2.5 hours all the way up to Inverness and then kind of down to Urquhart. It was on Loch Ness. And we saw Urquhart. Obviously, I was in costume. Duh. At this point, it's just kind of what I wear around. I'm amazed I'm not wearing it now. But it takes 2 people to zip me in, so we went to Urquhart. It was beautiful. I realized I forgot I had a list of everywhere we were going to go, and I had it all mapped out, and then I forgot this list, so that stunk. And that made it a little more difficult to find where we were going, but that's fine. I just Googled it and did some research in the car. So we went to Urquhart Castle, and then we went over to Red Castle, which was a ruin. Urquhart was a ruin too. It used to be a fort. They all blend together. I need to start writing them down. And so then we went up to Red Castle. We were just walking. All of a sudden, bam, there it is, all blocked off. And it was beautiful and old. And there was literally like a marker that's like 1641. So that was cool. And then we went over to Culloden Moor, where the Battle of Culloden happened. It was really depressing. There were like mounds where all the bodies were from, the 17s. So that was really stressful. We saw all the clans that had like pretty much perished. It was depressing. It was like a way more depressing Gettysburg. Especially when there were like English people there and you didn't know how they felt about it because you knew the Scots were upset. So we had to leave. We saw the whole thing, but we had to leave. And then we tried to go to Kilvarrock Castle, which looked really cool, and it was like a ruin, And then we got there, and it was like, the castle's closed. So we like kind of just started walking up this little path, and then we see a car coming. So we like dive off the path. I, of course, made it onto like the regular walking path and was just walking, minding my own business. And Robert froze, fight, flight, or freeze. He froze. Some lady was like, "May I help you?" He goes, "Oh, is the castle closed?" She goes, "People live there." And then she just kept driving, and so Robert and I just turned around and left. It was so awkward. Um, and then we went up to Rate Castle, Rait. It was like this like square building in like just in the grass. It was cool. It was old. It was really really old. It was a really old castle. So it was nice to see like what the original just. Oh look, I made a stone 2-story building with a kitchen and a stairwell. And then we got in the car and headed over to Elgin, Scotland, and went to, I know it's not pronounced Doofus, it's Duffus, but how funny would it be if it was? I'm pretty sure it's Duffus, but Doofus is funnier. So we went to Doofus Castle. It was super cool. It's what's called a moat castle, or motte, M-O-T-T-E, means that they built the castle on a hill that they made themselves. So like they packed the earth up really, really tall, so that kind of had like a moat around it, like a little island, and then built the castle on top of it. But what that means is that since it's an artificial landmass, it starts to fall. So like half the castle literally just like sloughed off, and it's like leaning on its side. There's a video, it's funny, that I'm putting in the end of the slideshow, but it just like fell to pieces. So there's part of it still there, and then part of it's just like sideways. It's really weird. It was cool though. And then we went and ate dinner. We ate dinner in Elgin. It was a sweet little town. And then we headed down to Dufton and went to Auchintown Castle and like climbed all over it. And it was cool. It was just in someone's backyard. Like we walked through a cattle field to get there, or sheep field. And it was really pretty, but it was dark and kind of scary. So we like ran back to the car. And then we drove and stayed in our Airbnb, which was in the middle of the woods and actually really scary. And the door didn't lock, so we had to board up the door. And then I realized if there was a fire, we would die in the fire because Robert boarded up the door. Didn't sleep very much. But it was in, God, what town? Dalgety town. Dalgety, which is where the Hay Clan has their, like, big castle. So we went to go to the Hay Clan castle, and it was closed. So Robert got a picture from a distance with his Hay Clan castle. And then we went to Old Slains Castle, which is also Hay Clan. And it's just a wall in someone's backyard. So Robert got a picture by the wall, and then we went to New Slains Castle, which was actually so cool. And I just forgot another castle we went to, but that's fine. We went to New Slains Castle, and it was like this huge house. Like, you would need a map to figure out where you were in the house, like, fully furnished. Not to mention, like, when everything's falling down. But it was massive. So there's a lot of pictures there. It was right on this cliff, and the water was beautiful. Earlier in the morning, we tried to go to Tolkien Castle, Tolquon? Tolkien? I don't remember. But it was closed, even though it said it wasn't, but it was closed. So we tried to look like in the window, and so Robert has some pictures from like in the window, but it was closed. So that stinks. And then we went to Dunnottar Castle. So we drove and we ate lunch in Stonehaven at this cute little restaurant, and we got ice cream, the world's best ice cream. And then we went to Dunnottar Castle. I did not costume because it was pouring down rain, and I didn't want to get it too soggy. It was already dirty and covered in like stickers. And we went to a country park, Calder Country Park, when Kilver Rock was closed on Saturday. We went to Calder, and it was so beautiful. They had 2 different like gardens, and then you could go. I wish you could go in the castle because I'm sure it was stunning too. Anyway, fast forward to Sunday. We go to Dunnottar. It's pouring rain. This is the Keith Clan castle. It's actually super cool. You couldn't go in some of the parts, which is a bummer, but it was still really fun. Huge, absolutely massive space. And I'm not quite sure how they got there in the medieval times when it was built, but it was very difficult to get there now. We had to go down a flight of stairs, up a flight of stairs, around, so interesting. Tiring. And then we went to like this little viewpoint where you could see it from afar. So we got a lot of pictures of those. And then we went to Ballochnair? I don't remember how to say it. But it was in someone's backyard. And we pulled in, and there was a cone blocking our path. And so this lady was like, "May I help you?" And Robert was like, "Oh, we're just trying to find a way to get to the castle." She goes, "We just really don't want people going because we don't want corona. So you can leave." Something along those effects. I stayed in the car. So Robert came back in and she said, "We have to leave." And I'm like, that's not fair. It's not owned. They don't own this land. They don't own the castle. It's in the national trust. Like the state owns it. So we did research. So instead of driving through her property, we drove like through her like driveway. We drove and like walked through this like corn or wheat field, and then went like down and across to it as opposed to just straight down. So we kind of cheated the system, but it felt worth it. It really wasn't. The castle was boring, but we stuck it to her because she was mean and she was English and she didn't know what she was talking about. And then we decided it was time to come home. We were really tired. We were supposed to see like 2 other castles, but one of them closed earlier than we thought, and we were just really, really tired. It had been a long. We walked over 23 miles the whole weekend, so it was ready. It was time to come home. So by the time we got home, it was like 9:30. Robert dropped me off with all the stuff, and then dropped the car off, and now we're here. And we're trying to plan the rest of our weekends here in this beautiful country. So I will keep you guys updated with what else happens. Bye! One last thing, if anyone is willing to edit any part of my thesis, please let me know. I will send it your way. You don't have to do the whole thing. You could just do a paragraph or 2. It would be appreciated. All my love.
One thing said 24, one thing said 30. Whoa.
No one told my mom I came all the way down here.
Look at this huge fireplace. Okay, so that looks pretty new.
It only came up like 5 stories.
Okay. Hey Robert, note to self when building an amazing place to live, do not build it on a hill. It will slope off. Robert, I'll show you. Follow me. Ta-da! A fort, medieval fort built in 1160. 1160. The cellars, the kitchen. Doorway, big field where other things used to be. That was like a receiving room, and then they walked up some stairs. Absolutely killer skylight. Just kidding, they're missing a stone. Super cool, super cool.
What are we doing?
We're touring our final castle of the day, Auchendown Castle, which has become famous because Sir Adam Gordon, who received it in 1570 something, decided he was mad at the Forbeses and went to their castle to kill them, and the husband wasn't there, so instead he just locked the door and murdered the entire household by burning their castle down, so then this one got burned down. That's where we are. Hey, hey, hey! Get it?
No, I don't. Explain.
Because it's hey, hey, castle. Hey. All right, Robert, what did we just do?
Oh, we just had a B&E.
A B&E, the classic breaking and entering.
There was some mean English lady who doesn't understand that in Scotland that no one owns the land and you have free roaming rights. And she said, well, we just don't want people coming to this castle in our backyard. But
You can't see it, but that's okay.
yeah, but we're all good. We even asked one of our Scottish friends, and he was like, dude, you should just walk through their garden.
Because nothing bad can happen. So we saw the castle, and to be fair, it was pretty boring. But that's not the point. The point is, we saw the castle. Dun, dun, dun.
Now we have to walk through this field.
And now I get to walk through the beautiful fields of barley. Just kidding, it's wheat. Ta-da!